Car troubles. I know 'em well.
I know that guy.
Hey, let's go walk and talk about this. We had some stuff going on with our cars recently, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, mine for a long time.
So, recently, you and I took a day trip,
Yeah.
and we both had our vehicles worked on, right? What'd you have done?
Dropped each other off. So my car,
So this is kind of an update, this part of it.
yeah, it's for a long time.
The
Every
Dodge.
time I close the trunk, it pops back open. I have to close it again and it pops back open.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can get it, if I'm really quick, I can get it out in the first one. But sometimes it takes 13 tries. So
This is
I had to have that.
tell them what car. It's a Dodge
It's the Challenger.
Challenger.
Yeah. And
It's an electronic problem, and it's still under warranty.
yeah,
And I bought an extended electronic warranty.
yeah.
Please continue.
So they checked that out and they said that the antenna that's on the inside of the trunk was all messed up.
So this is the.
I don't know how, but
Now, what's the function of that antenna?
It just figures out, it senses whether the trunk is closed or not, and whether you have the fob or not.
I see.
So it just wasn't working right.
Confusing
Yeah.
electronic.
So that,
stuff.
and then when I was in the car, it kept saying the fob has left the car. So it would keep bonging the thing, and it was really annoying. And they said that that was probably due to the fact that when I get in the car, I throw it in my cup holder, and there's an LED light ring in my cup holder that interferes with the sensor that's in the car that recognizes the fob. So they said just don't put your keys in the cup holder.
Okay,
your fob in the cup holder.
now hang on.
So I don't, and it's fine.
Further problem you had was car just wouldn't start,
Because it didn't recognize the fob.
which was because of.
Well, I don't know. I think that they tinkered with the. I think that the back sensor had something to do with the front sensor. So that being messed up just made the
You mean
front
the
sensor
trunk,
not
the trunk
work
sensor and all? Okay, so it's I almost said electronical.
You did.
Electronic
Yeah.
confusion, whatever.
Exactly.
So your fob. So we reported this. We talked about this in a video before, and everybody
Yeah.
wanted to say the battery, which we
No,
knew
it
they were
wasn't
going to say.
Yeah.
It wasn't the
Because I
fob
could put
battery.
the fob up and start the car.
And it was
Could always do
the battery was only a year or two old. The car was only a year or two
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
So
It's 2 years old.
and what we learned, and we explained that on a recent video, that if you have that problem, push the fob into the start button,
Yeah. It every time starts right
and
up.
it'll start. If you have that
Yeah.
same problem, it'll start right up.
Yeah.
Just literally pushing the button with the butt end of the fob.
Yeah, I use it like it's a key almost.
Yeah. So, all right. So they got everything straightened out for you, and it works now.
Yep, it's perfect.
Cool.
Every time. I love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I went to get my inspection done today, and the guy threw my keys in the cup holder. And I was like, no, don't do
Not
that.
this again.
But it was fine.
But I do like that little light ring you have in your cup holder.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
guess
cool.
it's pretty cool. There's literally nowhere to put stuff in your car.
I know.
Little things.
Well, there's that
There's
little,
a transmission.
and there's that little box that you can open up.
Yeah.
But if I put stuff in there, I forget about it, and then I find it like years later. I'm like, oh, this is where I put that thing.
Yeah. So,
So that's not good.
anything else with your car?
Nope.
Is that it?
I love
you
my
still
car.
love it.
Yeah.
You've had it for a year almost.
Yep.
I bought it on my birthday in November.
Which is in 3 weeks.
I spent my here's another thing. My friend Jed, we were talking to him about this the other day. He saw me I was getting my tires changed, which I want to talk about in a minute. And he asked me about buying, or I was telling him about buying that car, and I said, man, I hate doing that.
Yeah,
I
you
spent
gotta
half
sit
the
there
day
for
in a damn dealership.
Yeah.
And these guys didn't give me anything. They would not acquiesce on any of my requests.
Till you walked out.
I said, I want tires. I want new tires. The tires are bald, and I want
Yeah, they were good.
a couple of other things. One just
Headlight
minor thing.
replaced,
Oh,
because
headlight
it was-
replaced because it was ruined. It was wet inside.
Yeah.
And the LED was ruined in it. And I said, I want $1,000 off. This price is too high. So the dealer,
They were like,
salesman,
no, I
the
don't think
salesman
so.
comes back after 20 minutes. You know how they do. They put the squeeze on you. 30 minutes, and he says, he's noticeably nervous and embarrassed. I said, all right, so what do we got? He said, I'm really sorry. They can't do any of that. I said, except what? What do you mean? They just can't do any of that. Margins are too tight. And I was pissed. Because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You make a sale, you do one or you do something. Do something. Give me something. And I'm not a cheapskate. I just wanted to. It was a practically brand new car. I wanted it to be what it should.
Yeah.
A dealership, when they have a car that's a year old, they should make that thing
really nice.
Really nice,
yeah.
pristine, and sell it. If it requires putting a bigger sticker price.
And that headlight didn't even work. But it was a special headlight. Too bad it didn't work.
So what did I do? I'm not an idiot. I got up, I called Jen. I'd been keeping her posted on it. This was her dream car, and so I wanted to talk to her about it. We're not huge on surprises, and so I called her up. I said, all right, see you later. And I walked.
I was like, no, don't leave.
I called her from my truck. I was like, they won't do anything. I'm walking. And she was like, no, please. And I got to my truck, key in the ignition, and of course they came running out. And I got new tires, and I got new headlights, and they wouldn't go. They really, they were
draw the line
really,
at $1,000.
they're really pushing on the price because it was a good price. So, all right. So the part of the story there is my friend Jed was like, man, I would never do that. You buy your car over the phone. And I was like, oh yeah, I think he told me that before. And it's really smart, and I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
I will
figure out exactly what you want. You call him up. You say, this is what I want. I want to sign one thing.
And I said to him, he said he
done.
bought his out of another town. You know, we're in Wilmington. I think he said he got his truck in Pinehurst.
Yeah.
He got everything he wanted, and he delivered the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you just say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I said, well, you didn't test drive it? He said, they're all the same.
Yeah.
I knew what I wanted. So I was thinking, next time I'll just go test drive the car, and I'll say, I want this, this, and this, but I'm leaving. You know, if I want to test drive the car, just say no. I'm not going to wait for the clearance. I'm not going to wait for your sales manager to approve my request. You call me.
Yeah.
If I'm getting this car, that's the way to do it. Yeah. So you don't sit there and go back and forth.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I wanted to talk lastly about my truck, which is a Toyota. Isn't that funny that we have? They're both American Chinese cars.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to say, you shouldn't buy a Toyota, that's a Chinese car, and we can argue all day about that. Japanese, sorry, yeah. Well, it's Chinese parts, right?
I don't know.
Lots of Chinese parts.
So.
Henshui, Mexico. These cars are
Mexico.
cars are international now. And anyway, I'm not a smart enough guy to know all the damn specifics about each component, but it's just ridiculous. The whole, you're an idiot for. You had an uncle that was so anti-Japanese that he was crazy about it. He was mad about it. He drives Japanese cars now.
Now he's like, yeah.
30 years
I don't
later,
think that
he's
way
like,
anymore.
man, these cars are engineered really well. So he's driving Japanese. So it's just how it goes. It's just anyway. So I have a Toyota. You have a Dodge. A lot of people say Dodge is junk.
So not junk.
Yeah, and then a lot of people say,
love my car.
why wouldn't you have a Dodge? Why do you have a Toyota? Well, we got both. Come on.
And you love your truck.
Bases are covered. I just love
And I loved my
having
Toyota.
an old truck. I don't need anything new.
I loved all my Toyotas.
All right, so what was my experience? I had to have my tires changed, and that's so painful.
Oh, yeah.
And she's push. You're going to kill yourself.
Well,
You need
to
tires.
have good tires.
Well,
They were like bald.
You were right.
Yeah.
You were right. It got to a point where we were going out of town, and I wanted to take my truck.
Yeah.
But my tires were not.
Yeah.
They weren't bald. They were just.
They were bad.
They didn't have a lot of meat left on them. So I say, okay, I'm going to get tires. I figured it would cost me $850 like the last time, but it didn't.
Yeah, they were on sale.
Yeah, so I got a little better deal than last time.
Yep.
Still got good tires. So I haven't had those tires taken off of that car, that truck, for months, 6 months.
What do you mean?
That was the last time I got a rotation.
Okay.
And so they take off the tire, they replace my tires, the wheels. They hadn't nobody's pulled the wheels off.
Right.
And there hadn't been a lug wrench in there. And they replaced my tires, drive away. And you and I were at the post office, and I backed up, and what did you think?
I thought he hit somebody because it was like crunch.
And
I thought, oh no.
she's thinking that, and I'm thinking, oh crap, my wheel just fell off.
Yeah.
These guys didn't torque down my wheels. They just, so it felt like something.
It did.
bad.
Yeah.
What had happened? She went in the post office, came back. I'm backing up. My wheel was turned to angle my truck. I rolled over my own hub. It had just fallen off when we pulled up and parked.
Yeah.
And I rolled over it, and it made the car jump up and down.
Crunch.
The truck. And so I went back. Amazingly, I was ready for, to deal with an issue.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "Oh, hang on." You watched
That was
him.
crazy.
He turned around.
I knew he was going to do that for some reason.
He walked 3 paces behind him, where he had been standing when I got his attention. He walked over to me. Well, he said, "Hang on." He walked back to where he was, reached in the bin, and pulled out a hub cover
The exact
that
one.
fit perfectly,
Yep.
color, size, shape,
Yep.
my 2006 Tundra.
It was crazy.
Stuck it on. He said,
Good
"I
to
hope
go.
that wasn't too long of a wait, sir." Jokingly. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I'm really sorry that was such a hassle for you. So we hadn't gotten 3 blocks away, and it got replaced. But guess what? We drive home. I get out of my truck. No
It's
hub
gone.
cover. I go back, and there's a jackass who's going to explain to me how it's my fault. I said, no. The other guy had a hub cover. Go get me a hub cover. They're over there in that bin. He said, no, that has been here for 3 years.
Oh, jeez.
He said, that was the last one. There was a set of 4 that was been there for 3 years. And I was just still reeling at how remarkable that was.
Yeah.
I said, well, look, what do we do? You guys need to pay for this. He said, well, this stuff just happens. I said, what do you mean? He said, yeah, somebody took that wheel off, and they did some damage to that thing, when you got your oil changed or something. I said, my oil changed?
Oh, no.
He didn't take my wheel off and he said, and whoever damaged it, they put it back on and it sticks, and then the poor guy here that takes it off, that's when it fails.
But they're the ones that always do your rotations and everything. You bought your tires
Exactly,
from them
that's
last
what I
time.
told him.
It's like, you guys are the only ones that have touched
Yeah.
this car.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, it doesn't hold water. He said, he wanted to argue with me. I said, look, don't even. And I said, I want be compensated for this. But it's a hassle. So now I'm just going to buy a damn $13 hub cover and put it on and be done with it. I'm not going to go to Toyota. So anyway,
So what
then
did they do?
I got home, knucklehead. Then I realized they had left all my valve covers off.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't have one freaking valve cover on my truck. So it's Costco. And
Ooh, name and
I'm
name.
not going to apologize for using Costco. This is what I'm not a millionaire, so. Anyway, those are our car stories, truck stories, etc. And again, we drive whatever we drive that drives. Dodge, Toyota, etc.
Yeah, they're all good.
All right, so now here's another Dodge.
Isn't it lovely?
This, my friends,
The orange shag.
you may have seen. Ooh, there's movie props. Don't look at those. In fact, this whole thing is a movie prop. Orange shag. Guess the year. Guess the year, people.
1981.
And okay. And by the way, this is a Dodge 440 engine in here, and that's a newer, probably Chinese junk carburetor, and it was leaking. And there are 8 screws on the top that Walker's employer tightened down and that stopped the leak. You could see it all around the gasket. There's 2 gaskets, that one down there and one right there, and it was leaking gas, which is not good. You don't want to have an engine fire. So there you go. Dodge 440, 81,000 miles. I'd like to sell this vehicle when I'm done using it in a movie. Probably sell it for $3,000. So we bought this thing. Some nice ladies sold it to us, and they had a carburetor installed recently, and the thing doesn't start. So I had this. Now, if some of you aren't familiar with these old cars, I know most of you gearheads are, but there's the console. So you're sitting, over the transmission here, and the engine, and there it is. There's a carburetor in case you've never seen one. And there's the carburetor filter in the housing. You just put that on top of there. But this is not starting, and we're going to show you what we've got. So Walker's friend, Walker's employer pointed out that it wasn't starting because it's not choking. See that? Now keep doing it. Like magic, huh? It's very nipply, isn't it? I mean, nippy. So, you see how easy that is? The hard part is taking that damn thing off.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only problem. So you're going to have to do that. Hey, buddy. What are you doing? No, inside voice.
Wow, that's loud.
Yeah. So we're gonna take this on set, and then we're gonna have to move it around. We have to take the damn console off because this thing, and maybe somebody can help me with this, is not doing what it should on when I initially tried to start it. So anyway, try it now. It opens up.
Yeah.
I think somebody put something together backwards there. Maybe somebody can explain that to me. Man, that would be nice. These guys are all so smart, and they're telling me everything I'm doing wrong all the time. So maybe there's a gentleman out there who would tell me
how to do
something useful. Yeah. All right. So those are our car stories for the day. Thank you, Mama. Thank you for demonstrating, Vanna.
Absolutely.
Jenna.
Anytime.
Any more car stories?
I don't think so.
We just wanted to share that with you and tell us your car stories and teach us something.
Yeah.
Tell us something we don't know. Okay? Thanks for watching, everyone.
You have a lot to choose from.
Be sure to check out all the links in the description and stuff below the video. And we'll talk soon.